In today's video, we'll be learning how to play Uno Teams. This is a version of Uno that's similar to the original, but you get a teammate that you sit across from while playing. Whichever team gets rid of all of their cards first wins the game rather than one individual player. To start the game, each player chooses a teammate and sits across from them. Then, the dealer takes the cards, shuffles them, and deals 7 to each player. The remaining cards in the deck are placed in the middle of the table. This becomes the draw pile. Then, the top card of the draw pile is flipped up to create the discard pile and is placed right next to the draw pile. If this top card that's flipped up is an action card, such as a draw 2, skip, wild, or reverse, keep flipping cards on the top until you get a normal non-action card. Then, the player to the left of the dealer goes first. And before we go any further, if you're interested in getting Uno Teams yourself, an affiliate link should be on screen right now. If you use that link to buy the game, you get the game that you want, and I get a small commission which helps support the channel, and I would really appreciate it. Anyways, let's get back to the tutorial. To play a card onto the discard pile, the card that you play must either match in symbol or in color. For example, there's a green 4 on top of the discard pile right now. I could play this yellow 4 because it matches in symbol, or I could play this green 9 because it matches in color. If you cannot match in symbol or color, you could also play a wild card onto the discard pile, but only if you have nothing else that you could play onto the discard pile. If you cannot play anything from your hand onto the discard pile, you must draw a card and skip your turn. Let's now go over the action cards that appear in every Uno game. First up is skip. When this card is played, the next player loses their turn and the turn skips to the next player. Next is the reverse card. When this card is played onto the discard pile, order of play is swapped to the other direction. If the player to my right would have gone next, then the player to my left would have gone next, and then the play would be continued in the opposite order. Next is the draw 2 card. When this card is played, the next player must draw 2 cards and lose their turn. And last but certainly not least is the wild card. When this card is played, the player who played it can change the color on the discard pile. Then, play continues as normal to the next player. Let's now go over the new cards added to this game. First are any cards that have this little symbol on them. This little symbol is called the passing symbol. When one of these passing cards is played onto the discard pile, you and your partner each swap a card. You can choose what card to give them, but you cannot give any indication what card it is that you're giving them, and you cannot give your partner any indication of what card you want. There aren't a ton of passing cards in this deck, but if you see them, you must swap one card with your partner. Next is the Wild Team Play card. When this card is played onto the discard pile, the player who plays it can change the color on the discard pile just like a regular wild. Everybody's turn is skipped until it reaches your partner's turn. Then your partner may play a card onto the discard pile if they can. If they cannot, you, the player who played the Wild Team Play card, has to draw 2 cards. And last but certainly not least is the Wild Team Draw 4 card. When this card is played, you get to change the color on the discard pile just like any other wild, but the next player has to draw 2 cards and their partner has to draw 2 cards. Notably, they even have to draw 2 cards even if they're already out of the game and have 0 cards in hand. This can change the tide of the game quickly and is very, very strong. If you and your partner both have 0 cards in hand at the same time, your team wins the game. And that's how to play Uno Teams. Once again, if you don't already own the game and you'd like to help support the channel, consider using the affiliate link in this video to buy the game. When you do, you get the game that you want and you help the channel by giving me a small commission, and I would really appreciate it. Thank you for watching.